At 5 a.m. on an intensely hot summer day, President John Quincy Adams left the White House by stagecoach for Quincy, Massachusetts. It was July 9th, 1826, just 2 days short of his 59th birthday. He had been up the night before in anxiety and apprehension until near midnight. The heat made him miserable. Candlelight attracted insects. There were no screens. The day before, he had gotten 3 letters from Quincy with the news that his 91-year-old father, the second President of the United States, was on his deathbed. John Quincy had flattered himself that his father would survive this summer and even other years. A rider was on his way from Baltimore to tell him he was wrong. John Adams had died late in the afternoon of July 4th. All of Washington already knew that Thomas Jefferson had died a little after 1 p.m. on the same day. Jefferson's final moments came just a few hours after a plea for a cash subscription for the impoverished former president at the Capitol's Independence Day celebration had met with a meager response. The third president had been an intimate member of the Adams family household in Paris when John Quincy was a young man. In 1800, Jefferson, barely and only by the advantage of counting slaves as voters, had defeated Adams's father's bid for a second term. It was a nasty campaign, mostly on the Jefferson side. In 1808, as a senator from Massachusetts, John Quincy, in an ironic twist, had earned the hatred of many New England Federalists who later forced him out of his Senate seat because he had supported some of Jefferson's policies. Adams had thought them in the best interests of the country. Even then he had judged Jefferson's presidency a failure, his personality flawed by self-deception and political hypocrisy. Whether or not Adams would get to Quincy soon enough to see his father one last time was the main thing on his mind. Only some days later did he remark on the obvious coincidence that the second and third presidents of the United States had died on the same day, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It seemed to many a miraculous fact. It has become a cliché of American history. Like his father, John Quincy agreed with Jefferson on at least one fundamental principle. Government derived its legitimacy from the consent of the governed.